It was another evening as the black clouds rolled on the hill, giving it a view of a haunted movie. The town itself was clear, peaceful, and cozy, with a lady who opened a bookstore from where you get to enjoy the perfect coffee with your favorite book. The town of Blackwood was an unusual place, tucked into a valley surrounded by thick woods that always seemed full of secrets. It was a small and quiet town, at least that's how it looked to outsiders. But the people who lived there knew the truth. Above the town on a hill that seemed to touch the clouds stood Blackthorn Mansion. It was a huge, dark house surrounded by iron gates that rarely opened. The mansion belonged to Jungkook, the Mafia Lord everyone feared. His name wasn't spoken often, and when it was, it came with whispers. Don't go near the hill, parents told their kids. It's dangerous up there. Strange things were always happening around Blackthorn. People said they had seen fancy black cars driving up to the mansion late at night, or heard strange voices coming from the woods. Jungkook's men came into the town sometimes, their sharp eyes and serious faces making it clear they didn't want to be bothered. Despite the fear Blackthorn brought, Wine's bookstore was the opposite. It was a cozy little shop on Main Street, full of warm lights, soft music, and the smell of coffee and old books. People loved visiting. It felt like a safe bubble where the worst problem couldn't reach. Or at least that's what Wine thought. The bell above the door jingled, breaking the peaceful silence of the shop. Wine looked up, her cheerful smile fading, when three men walked in. They were not from the Blackwood. She could tell by the way they carried themselves. Huge figures, smug faces, messy hair like some sort of thugs. They didn't look around at the shelves, or seem interested in the books at all. Wine, can I help you? She asked, her voice steady even though her stomach twisted nervously. The tallest of the group, a man with a scar on his cheek, smirked at her. Sam, oh, we'll help ourselves, he said, his voice mocking. They spread out, walking through the store in a way that made Wine's screen crawl, and stepped towards her phone quietly. As a precaution, she wanted to make a call to someone. One ran his hand along the shelves, knocking the books to the floor. Another went to the small cafe area, where he tipped over to a chair. Wine, please don't touch anything, Wine said, stepping around the counter. The scarred man chuckled, his dark eyes fixed on her. Sam, we're just looking around. Isn't that what this place is for? But the way he started made it clear he wasn't talking about the books. Sam, maybe you should close early tonight, he added, taking a step closer. Mine's heart raced. She moved back, but one of the other men were already behind her, blocking her path. She froze when he grabbed her arm. Wine, don't, she said sharply, her voice trembling. The scarred man grinned wider. Sam, like when they fight? He lunged towards her. Wine reached out an instinct, pulling away and running as far as she could. She darted between the shelves, her mind racing. She knew to get to the back door. Minho, where do you think you're going? One of them yelled, his voice too close for comfort. Minho, got you now. Voice sneered, and a strong hand grabbed her shoulder, spinning her around. Wine, let go! She screamed, kicking and thrashing. The man only laughed until a loud crack filled the room. His body froze for a moment, his grip loosening, a blood spilling from his head. He collapsed in a heap, revealing someone standing behind him. Jungkook, whose cold eyes swept over the scene, taking in Wine's terrified expression and the remaining two men. He was dressed in all black, a gun still in his hands, his face calm and deadly. The scared man froze, fear flickering across his face. Minho, I didn't know she was yours, he stammered, raising his hands. Jungkook, she is not. But now you have made her my business. His words sent chills through Wyan. The two remaining men tried to run, but Jungkook was faster. He moved like a shadow, striking them down with a precision that was almost unnatural. In moments they were on the ground, groaning and defeated. Jungkook turned to Wyan, his expression unreadable. Blood stained his shirt, but he didn't seem to care. Jungkook, you're safe now, he said, his voice softer but still firm. Wyan stared at him, her chest heaving as she tried to catch her breath. Wyan, who are you? His lips twitched, almost like a smile, but his eyes remained dark. Jackie, someone you shouldn't need to know. Yet. He started to turn, but something stopped him. Looked back at her, his gaze lingering in a way that made her stomach flip. Before Wine could reply, Jungkook was gone, leaving her alone in her once cozy bookstore. But his words echoed in her mind. Who was he? who appeared out of nowhere, sliced a few men right before her eyes. He was incredibly strong, not just physically, he held an aura that could make anyone tremble. And if you were in his protection, you were the safest in the whole world. Why was her heart beating crazily? Oh, right. She just faced thugs and a man crazily taking other men. No, it was not because she fell in love with her shining armor. Or was it? She didn't know it yet, but her life was no longer hers alone. From that moment, she belonged to Jungkook, whether she wanted it or not. To be continued.